Hi everyone. Happy Sunday. So I'm not quite sure what I finished on last week, but I might add bits to my story, but I'm kind of ready to talk about what I'm doing now, where I'm going now, what's happening now, and what's culminated of all of this. This process with cancer and with loss. Uh, I not only lost my dad, but while I was going through the agonizing pain in June and into July, so those 6 weeks, I also lost my cat, who was 25. It was his time to go, and my little dog, Miley, who's 15, also her time. But it was just all this loss. There's so much loss with cancer, so much challenge. But I want to talk about how I came into myself. So this is going to be very much what these going forward, these weekly shares are about, is this new lifestyle I'm living, this living in the way I think I was always meant to live. So I shared that I had been really always the last couple of years, but I've always been fascinated with the tiny house movement. Ever since I saw the first little alley that was turned into a tiny house, I've just found it fascinating, and I just love the idea where we're just overpopulating this planet, and can we really reduce our footprint to make it a little easier on the planet, but also easier on us. So much of my life was just consumed with cleaning every weekend. Had to clean a whole house every weekend and doing all this extra stuff to maintain it and having to work a certain amount to afford it. All these different things that our possessions demand of us. Where we start to live that life where there's that saying, wear the dress, don't let the dress wear you. It's a fashion saying, where really I was letting my lifestyle force me to live in a certain way. And I really did want to reduce, because I have been a minimalist my whole life. I really haven't wanted all this stuff, but I just kind of got caught up in it because it's what everyone did. So I have been it's been now over a year. It seems so strange that it's been that long, but I've been living in my 17-foot trailer over a year, and I will share the trailer with you at some point and talk about my home and how it is to live here. And it's been a real journey. But the real beauty of it is I remember saying, I talked about this in a previous video, that I stopped wanting, I didn't want to live in the city and visit nature anymore. I wanted to live in nature and visit the city. And this is how I live now. So those of you who know me or have been watching the tags on this, I live in Antelope Island State Park. I mean, how cool is that? I live in a state park. I wake up in the morning to bison outside of my window, or a coyote. I had a coyote one time. I live surrounded by antelope and prize mule deer, because there's only a few passes to hunt here. So the mule deer here are massive, and they have these giant, beautiful racks that they get to keep and live with. And there's beautiful birds and owls, and just this amazing ecosystem here that is fairly untouched. It is nature just being nature. And I get to live in the middle of it. I get to wake up in the morning and take my dogs, who aren't too fond of people living close by, and I get to take them out and be in this beautiful, spacious place. And it's this place I'm going to share. I'm going to be sharing more and more of it with you now that I'm done with the story that led up to it. So it's been really funny, and I've learned a lot about living in a trailer. But also, the other thing I realized is that I was miserable at work. So I'd quit my job, and I would have spent June. I was really worried that I went a month and a half without work. I was surprised that I had enough money to do that, but I did. But I really just left at a leap of faith saying, I just can't be here anymore. So I just have to trust me to find my way to that next position or to what I'm doing next. And it was really funny because in the middle of it, I realized what I wanted to do was gig work. Because I would talk to people here at the campground, and they live what they call it when you live in a trailer. They say, "Oh yeah, I live full time," is what people say. So yeah, I'm here. This is full time. So there are a lot of people living this way full time, and they live in different state parks, or they go all over to the national parks all over, or they do what I do in Camp Host, or they live off grid. It is this new generation mentality that says I do not need those big possessions. I need a place to sleep, and I want it to be where I want to be. And maybe I don't want it to be the same place next week, but I do want it to be a place where I'm happy. So I'm living here and I'm realizing I want to do gig work. And so I had was looking at things like DoorDash. A lot of people do that because they can do it wherever they go. Things like Prime Delivery. I mean, these are things that are way out of the realm of corporate leadership that I had come from and what I used to really count on as income. But I realized I lived from 2016 to 2020 living off the income I made from the Inspired Evolution Project. I doing the meetups and the sessions and the work I did paid my bills. And so I really want to get back to doing the work I love, but I thought I do not want a 9 to 5 job while I do it. I want to do what I want to do. So I've gone through a series of evolutions in gig work, and I'm going to share a little bit about those because what I really want to start sharing is this new generation consciousness, this Z generation consciousness that says I should be able to live the way I want to live. If I want to leave a job, I should be able to just leave. If I want to live a lifestyle that makes me happy, I'm going to do that. It's that living into our identity, into our passion, into what makes us whole. And it's bringing me back to a place that's healthier than I've ever been because I'm waking back up to that youthful potential of I am not bound in any way, shape, or form. I can live life on my terms, and I should live life on my terms. And life wasn't meant to be lived as a compromise. And that compromise is so the antithesis of what I teach, and yet I was caught up in it. And it's so easy to get caught up in it because the amygdala is habit. It's the way we've always been. And sometimes I posted a picture on Instagram this week. I cut my own hair. I have bangs now. I have them pinned up right now. They're really cute. It's really cute. I love my hair. But I cut it myself. I would have never done that because of the insecurities and the living up to, and I should go and do it. And I honor the profession of going and having somebody do it professionally. But I also honor the boldness to say, I'm just going to try it. And I'm going to be okay. It's not going to kill me if it's not good. In fact, I'm going to be doing an experiment with color. So we'll see how that goes. But it is this life that's making me happy. And so I want to start sharing what it means to live in this mentality of I live life on my terms. And that's what this has brought me to. It was a stumbling, tripping, messy way to get here, but I'm finally in this place where I constantly question everything I think and everything I want to do. And I am living into the question of I don't know what to do or how to do it, but I'm going to do it anyway because somewhere inside I know it's right. And so anyway, I'll talk about that more. So it's quick share today. I did a long share last week, so I'm at my 10 minutes, but I do want to tell you they're probably going to be longer shares, maybe 20-minute shares, but I'm going to start getting into this mentality. I'm going to start sharing my experience with you and what it's like to live out here on the island and what it's like to live in gig work. So I'll be doing more next Sunday. I want to thank you for following and sharing this journey with me, and I hope everybody has a beautiful night. See you soon.